Conversations with an Alien God, Book 1, Chapter 11 and 12. I would like to get back to my list of questions. There's so much more detail I want to go into on every one of these. We could do a whole book on relationships alone, and I know that, but then I would never get to my other questions. There will be other times, other places, even other books. I'm with you. Let's move on. We'll come back to it here if we have time. Okay, my next question then. Why can't why can't I ever seem to attract enough money in my life? That's not only your question, it's not a unique or reserved question. This is a worldly question for many people. Am I destined to be forever scrimping, scrapping? What is blocking me from realizing my full potential regarding money? I think that you need more approach, more self-confidence, more hard work put into it, and more skills. The condition is manifested not just by you, but by a great many people. Exactly, not only him, but the way he put it is just like Harry. He thinks that only he suffers in life, and that's not the case. I mean suffer where money is concerned. Everyone tells me it's a problem of self-worth, a lack of self-worth. I've had a dozen new age teachers tell me that lack of anything is always traceable to lack of self-worth. That is a convenient simplification. In this case, your teachers are wrong. You do not suffer from a lack of self-worth. Indeed, your greatest challenge all your life has been to control your ego. Some have said it has been a case of too much self-worth. Yeah. Well, here I am embarrassed and chagrined again, but you are right. You keep saying you are embarrassed and chagrined. Every time I simply tell the truth about you, embarrassment is the response of a person who still has an ego investment in how others see him. Invite yourself to move past that. Try a new response. Try laughter. Okay. Self-worth is not your problem. You are blessed with an abundance of it. Most people are. You all think very highly of yourself, as highly you should. So self-worth for the great mass of the people is not the problem. What is? I think it can be that he don't try it now for lack of opportunity, well, even lack of luck. The problem is lack of understanding of the principles of abundance together, usually with a massive misjudgment about what is good and what is evil. Let me give you an example. Please do. You carry a thought around that money is bad. You also carry a thought around that God is good. Bless you. Therefore, in your thought system, God and money do not mix. That's a nonsense because I don't even believe in a God. I don't follow any religion yet. I would say it's lack of opportunity, lack of luck. Well, in a sense, I guess that's true. That's how I think. That's you. Not it doesn't apply for everybody cases. This makes things interesting because this then makes it difficult for you to take money for any good thing. I don't think it is nonsense. I mean, if a thing is judged very good by you, you value it less in terms of money. So the better something is, example, the more worthwhile, the less money is worth. You are not alone in this. Your whole society believes this. So your teachers make a pittance and your stripteasers a fortune. Your leaders make so little compared to sports figures that they feel they have to steal to make up the difference. Oh my gosh. Your leaders, which is the politicians, that's why they steal to make up the difference, while the sport people earn more for absolutely, I would say nothing, but it's for clown behavior. Your priests and your rabbis live on bread and water while you throw coins at entertainers. Correct, very correct. Think about it. Everything on which you place a high intrinsic value, you insist must come cheaply. The lonely research scientists seeking a cure for AIDS goes begging for money, while the human who writes a book on 100 new ways to have sex and creates tapes and weekend seminar to go with it makes a fortune. Correct. And so does the adult actors and actresses. This behavior all backward is a propensity to, and it stems from wrong thought. The wrong thought is your idea about money. You love it, and yet you say it's the root of all evil. I don't say it is. You adore it, and you call it filthy lucre or filthy rich. You say that a person is filthy rich. And if a person does become wealthy doing good things, you immediately become suspect. You make that wrong. So, a doctor had better not make too much money, or had better learn to be discreet about it. And a minister, wow, see, you really better not make lots of money, assume you will even let a she, a human, be a minister. Or there will surely be trouble. Correct. You see, in your mind, a person who chooses the highest calling should get the lowest pay. Huh? Yes. It's right. You should think about that, because it's such a wrong thought. I thought there was no such thing as wrong or right. There isn't. There's only what serves you and what does not. The terms right and wrong are relative terms, and I use them that way when I use them at all. In this case, relative to what serves you, relative to what you say you want. Your money thoughts are wrong thoughts. Remember, thoughts are creative, so if you think money is bad, yet think yourself good, well, you can see the conflict. I don't think money is bad, and yet, now you in particular, my son, act out this race consciousness in a very big way. For most people, the conflict is not nearly so enormous as for you. Most people do what they hate for a living, so they don't mind taking money for it. Bad for the bad, so to speak. But you love what you do with the days and times of your life. You adore the activities with which you cram them. For you, therefore, to receive large amounts of money for what you do would be, in your thought system, taking bad for the good, and that is unacceptable to you. You'd rather starve than take filthy lucre for pure service. So should we take filthy lucre for pure service? And later we get, I mean, if it's illegal or immoral, should we take that? I don't think so. We should. As if somehow the service loses its quality if you take money for it. So here we have this real ambivalency about money. Part of you rejects it and part of you resents not having it. Now, the universe doesn't know what to do about that because the universe has received two different thoughts from you. So your life with regard to money is going to go in fits and starts because you keep going in fits and starts about money. You don't have a clear focus, you are not really sure what's true for you, and the universe is just a big Xerox machine. It simply produces multiple copies of your thoughts. Now, there is only one way to change all that. You have to change your thought about it. How can I change the way I think? The way I think about something is the way I think about something. My thoughts, my attitudes, my ideas were not created in a minute. I have to guess they are the result of years of experience, a lifetime of encounters. You are right about the way I think about money, but how do I change that? This could be the most interesting question in the book. The usual method of creation for most human beings is a three-step process involving thought, word, and deed, or action. First comes thought, the formative idea, the initial concept. Then comes the word. Most thoughts ultimately form themselves into words, which are often then written or spoken. This gives added energy to the thought, push it out into the world where it can be noticed by others. Finally, in some cases, words are put into actions and you have what you call a result, a physical word manifestation of what all started with a thought. Everything around you in your man-made world came to being in this way, or some variation of it. All three creation centers were used. But now comes the question, how to change a sponsoring thought? Yes, that's a very good question and a very important one. For if humans do not change some of their sponsoring thoughts, humankind could doom itself to extinction. The most rapid way to change a root thought or exponsory idea is to reverse the thought to word deed process. Explain that. Do the deed that you want to have the new thought about. Then say the words that you want to have your new thought about. Do this often enough and you train the mind to think a new way. Train the mind? Is it that like mind control? Isn't that just mental manipulation? Do you have an idea how your mind came up with the thoughts it is now has? Do you not know that your word has manipulated your mind to think as you do? Wouldn't it be better for you to manipulate your mind than for the word too? Would you not be better off to think the thoughts you want to think than do so for others? Are you not better armed with creative thoughts than with reactive thoughts? Yet, your mind is filled with reactive thought that springs from the experience of others, correct? Very few of your thoughts spring from self-produced data, much less self-produced preferences. Your only root thought about money is a prime example. Your thought about money, it's bad, runs directly counter to your experiences. It's great to have money, so you have to run around and lie to yourself about your experience in order to justify your root thought. You are so rooted in this thought. It never occurs. So your own root thoughts about money is a prime example. Your thoughts about money, it's bad, it runs directly counter to your experience. It's great to have money, so you have to run around and lie to yourself about your experience in order to justify your root thought. You are so rooted in this thought, it never occurs to you that your idea about money may be inaccurate. So now what we are apt to is coming up with some self-produced data, and that is how we change our root thought and cause it to be your only root thought, not another's. You have one more root thought about money, by the way, which I have yet to mention. To mention. I guess that those people who teach others, put in the mind of the others who are not very smart to discern and come up with their own choices and ideas, is that they don't want you to have money and they don't want you to love money. So what they do is they try to dissuade you to like money so as to give money to them. You understand? There's many organizations around, man-made organization, who brainwash you into believe that money is evil. Money is not evil. Money do help us in this matrix. But what is evil is what many people do to acquire it. Is what steps you take to earn it. Okay? It's not the energy of the money per se, but the way how you think about it in a very obsessive way, and at the point of commit crimes and do stupid things and even hurt other people, step on other people's head as to earn money. So what he continued, what is that? That there is not enough. In fact, you have this root thought about just about everything. No, we don't have enough. I mean, many people doesn't have enough even to eat, even to pay their bills, let alone to enjoy life. There is not enough money, there is not enough time, there is not enough love, there is not enough food. No, it isn't. Water, compassion in the world. Whatever there is that is a good, there is just not enough. No, there isn't. There isn't, and you don't speak for many people. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about the people who live in more dire situation. This erased consciousness of not enoughness creates and recreates the world as you see it. Okay, so I have two root thoughts, sponsoring thoughts to change about money. Oh, at least two, probably many more. Let's see. Money is bad. Money is scarce. Money may not be received for doing God's work. Well, we will be fooled. You are being fooled by thinking this way, because many is earning a lot great of money doing God's word, or even other entity word work. Work. You see? So who says that work for God doesn't pay? Much the contrary. That's a big one if you. Money is never given freely. Money doesn't grow on trees, when in fact it does. Well, it does when you have to sacrifice the tree, isn't it? You have to sacrifice a tree alive so as to make money. Not just a tree, but I would say millions of it, or thousands and thousands of it. Money corrupts. I see, I've got a lot of work to do. Yes, you do, if you're not happy with your present money situation. On the other hand, it's important to understand that you are unhappy with your present money situation because you are unhappy with your present money situation. Sometimes you are hard to follow. Sometimes you are hard to lead. Say, listen, you are the God here. Why don't you make it easy to understand? I have made it easy to understand. So on, because the alien say, on the other hand, it's important to understand that you are unhappy with your present money situation because you are happy with your present money situation. Then why don't you just cause me to understand if that's what you truly want? I truly want what you truly want, nothing different and nothing more. Don't you see that is my greatest gift to you? If I wanted for you something other than what you want for you, and then went so far as to cause you to have it. Where is your free choice? How can you be a creative being if I'm dictating what you shall be, do, and have? My joy is in your freedom, not your compliancy. That's good. Very beautiful. I love this message because that's the way how I think. No to dictatorship and to communism, because we learn through our experiences, and the best thing is to live and let live. But we should not abuse free will and freedom and turn it into anarchy and make a fool of ourselves. Okay, what did you mean? I'm unhappy with my money situation because I'm unhappy with my money situation? This guy is really dumb, you know. You are what you think you are. It's a vicious circle when the thought is a negative one. You've got to find a way to break out of this circle. So much of your present experience is based on your previous thought. Thought leads to experience, which leads to thought, which leads to experience. This can produce constant joy when the sponsoring thought is joyous. It can and does produce continual hell when the sponsoring thought is hellacious. The trick is to change sponsoring thought. I was about to illustrate how to do that. Go. Thank you. The first thing to do is reverse the thought toward the deed paradigm. Do you remember the old adage, think before you act? Yes. Well, forget it. If you want to change a root thought, you have to act before you think. Because of this, so many people made mistake and a later regret. Imagine this way how the youth and the teenagers think. They don't think before they act first and think later. And that's the exactly the youth thought. They think this way. And so does the children. Example, you are walking down the street and come across an old lady begging for quarters. You realize she's a beg lady and is living day to day. You instantly know that as little money as you have, you surely have enough to share with her. Your first impulse is to give her some change. There is even a part of you that's ready to reach in your pocket for a little folding money. A 1 or even a 5. What the heck? Make a grand moment for her. Light her up. Then thought comes in. What? Are you crazy? If we only got $7 to get us through the day, you want to give her a 5? So start fumbling around for that one. Thought again. Hey, come on. You don't have that many of this that you can just give them away. That's true. Give her some coins for heaven's sake and let's get out of here. Quickly, you reach into the other pocket to try to come up with some quarters. Your fingers feel only nickels and dimes. You are embarrassed. Here you are, fully clothed, fully fed, and you are going to nickel and dime this poor woman who has nothing. I would give her, I don't know, I will share with her, give $4 something. You try in vain to find if I had at that moment, if I had more in the bank, I would give her all that I had in my pocket. You try in vain to find a quarter or two, or there is one deep in the fold of your pocket. But by now, you've walked past her, smiling wanly, and it's too late to go back. She gets nothing, that's true. You get nothing either. Instead of the joy of knowing your abundance and sharing, you now feel as poor as the woman. Why didn't you just give her the paper money? It was your first impulse, but your thought got in the way. Next time, decide to act before you think. That's correct when it comes to this, to help people. Give the money, go ahead, you got it. And there is more where that came from. That's the only thought which separates you from the bag lady. You are clear there's more where that came from, and she doesn't know that. When you want to change a routine thought, act in accordance with the new idea you have. But you must act quickly, or your mind will kill the idea before you know it. I mean that literally. The idea, the new truth, will be dead in you before you've had a chance to know it. So act quickly when the opportunity arises, and if you do this often enough, your mind will soon get the idea. It will be your new thought. Oh, I just got something. Is that what you meant by the new thought movement, or the NTM? If not, it should be new thought is your only chance. It's your only real opportunity to evolve, to grow, to truly become who you really are. Your mind is right now filled with all the thoughts. Not only all the thoughts, but mostly someone else's all the thoughts. It's important now, it's time now to change your mind about some things. This is what evolution is all about. Chapter 12. Yeah, that's true. Why can't I do what I really want to do with my life and still make a living? What? You mean you actually want to have fun in your life and still earn your keep? Brother, are you dreaming? Well, I mean some DJ does that, and I'm sure they love to be a DJ and play music. What? Only kidding, just do a little mighty reading, that's all. You see, that's been your thought about it. It's been my experience. Yes, well, we've been all through this now a number of times. The people who make a living doing what they love are the people who insist on doing so. They don't give up, they never give in. They dare life not to let them do what they love. But there's another element that must be brought up, because this is the missing element in most people's understanding when it comes to life work. What's that? There is a difference between being and doing, and most people have placed their emphasis on the later, doing. Shouldn't they? There is no should or should not involved. There is only what you choose and how you can have it. If you choose peace and joy and love, you won't get much of it through what you are doing. If you choose happiness and contentment, you will find a little of that on the path of doing and see. If you choose reunion with God, supreme knowing, deeper understanding, endless compassion, total awareness, absolute fulfillment, you won't achieve much of that out of what you are doing. In other words, if you choose evolution, the evolution of your soul, you won't produce that by the worldly activities of your body. Doing is a function of the body. Being is a function of the soul. The body is always doing something. Every minute of every day is up to something. It never stops. It never rests. It's constantly doing something. Is either doing what it's doing at the behest of the soul or in its past of the soul. The quality of your life hangs in the balance. The soul is forever being. It's being what is being, regardless of what the body is doing, not because of what it is doing. If you think your life is about doing and see, you do not understand what you are about. Your soul doesn't care what you do for a living. And when your life is over, neither will you. Your soul cares only about what you are being while you are doing whatever you are doing. is a state of being in see. The soul is after, not a state of doing and see. What's the soul seeking to be? Me. You. Yes, me. Your soul is me because this is a God self. And it knows it. What it's doing is trying to experience that. And what it's remembering is that the best way to have this experience is by not doing anything. Correct. Just be. Be down the mountains and countryside, wherever, on the beach. There is nothing to do but to be. So remember that the best way to have the experience by not doing anything. There is nothing to do but to be. Be what? What I want to be. Happy, sad, weak, strong, joyful, vengeful, insightful, blind, good, bad, male, female, you name it. I mean that literally, you name it. This is all very profound, but what does it have to do with my career? I'm trying to find a way to stay alive, to survive, to support myself and my family, doing what I like to do. Try being what you like to be. What do you mean? Some people make lots of money doing what they do. Others can't make a go of it. And they are doing the same thing. What makes the difference? Some people have more skill than others. That's the first cut. But that's the first cut. But now we got to the second cut. Now we are down to two people with relatively equal skills. Both graduated from college. Both were at the top of the class. Both understand the nature of what they are doing. Both know how to use the tools with great facility. Yet one still does better than the other. One flourishes while the other struggles. What's that about? Location, I would say, opportunity and the demand, whatever, or the person's behavior and personality. Somebody once told me there are only three things to consider when starting a new business: location, location, location. In other words, not what are you going to do, but where are you going to be exactly. That sounds like the answer to my questions as well. The soul is concerned on with where you are going to be. Are you going to be in a place called fear or in a place called love? Where are you? And where are you coming from as you encounter life? Now, in the example of the two equally qualified workers, one is successful and the other is not. Not because of anything either is doing, but because of what both are being. One person is being open, friendly, caring, helpful, considerate, cheerful, confident, even joyful in her work, while the other is being closeted, distant, uncaring, inconsiderate, grumpy, even resentful of what she's doing. That's correct. So it's all about personality and thinking and thoughts. Now, suppose you were to select even loftier states of being. Suppose you were to select goodness, mercy, compassion, understanding, forgiveness, love. What if you were to select godliness? What then would be your experience? I tell you this: being attracts being and produces experience. You are not on this planet to produce anything with your body. You are on this planet to produce something with your soul. Your body is simply and merely the tool of your soul. Your mind is the power that makes the body go. So what you have here is a power tool used in the creation of the soul's desire. What's the soul's desire? Indeed, what is it? I would say to experience in the body Whatever. I don't know. I'm asking you. I don't know. I don't know. I'm asking you. Tomorrow. I don't know. I'm asking you. I don't. I don't know. I'm asking you. Oh my god. This is being so funny. This could go on. Oh my god. Oh, I know I'm a bit silly. I can't. I can't stand it. I don't know. I'm asking. I don't know. I'm asking you. This could. It could go on forever. This could go on forever. It is. Wait a minute. A moment ago, you said the soul is seeking to be you. So it is. Then that's the soul's desire. And the broadest sense, yeah, but this is me. But this me, which is the oversoul, it is seeking to be is very complex because he don't know he's in the process of finding out. He doesn't have like say a concluded idea of what he wants to be. So it's up to all of us to decide for it. In the process it says yes, but this is me seeking to be is a very complex, very multi-dimensional, multi-sensual, multifaceted. There are millions aspects to me. A billion, a trillion, you see? That's correct. There's the profane and the profound, the lesser and the larger, the hollow and the holy, the ghastly and the godly. You see? Oh Lord. Yes, yes, I see the up and the down, the left and the right, the here and the there, the before and the after, the good and the bad. Precisely, I am the Alpha and the Omega. That was not just a pretty saying or a nifty concept. That was truth expressed. So, in seeking to be me, the soul has a grand job ahead of it. An enormous menu of beginning C from which to choose, and that's what it is doing in the moment now. So I presume that it will take lifetime to fulfill all this all these things, all this ample vastness sea that uh, everything there is. So one lifetime will not suffice. Will not suffice. So it takes more than one lifetime for us to accomplish everything that we came here to accomplish. It is not as in I would say it's not a something like concluded. It is already formed in a configured. No, It's more than that. You, as you go along within your free will, you choose what you want to be. Choose states of being, yes, and then produce the right and perfect. So, yes, I see the up and down. Precisely, I mean, the up and the omega, that was not just a pretty say or a nifty concept, that was truth expressed. So, in seeking to be me, the soul has a grand job ahead of it, an enormous menu of being see from which to choose, and that's what it is doing in this moment now. Choosing states of being, yes, and then producing the right and perfect conditions within which to create the experience of that. It is therefore true that nothing happens to you or through you that's not for your own highest good, even as you suffer. Sometimes I have a hard time to concept all this, to understand it. No, say to understand, but to accept all this. You mean my soul is creating all of my experience, including not only the things I'm doing, but the things that are happening to me. Let I say that the soul leads you to the right and perfect opportunities for you to experience exactly what you had planned to experience. How how exactly what I had planned when I don't remember had planned it for me. All my bad experiences, I did not wish that deep inside under my superconscious level. It was an unconscious thing, you know. It was not something that I chose already old and knowing full well where I was heading to. So this is a choice done unconsciously, not supraconsciously, not superconsciously. So let's say that the soul leads you to the right perfect opportunities for you to experience exactly what you had planned to experience. See, what you actually experience is up to you. It could be what you planned to experience, or it could be something else depending upon what you choose. Okay, let me repeat. What you actually experience is up to you. But do we really have a free choice, or we're gonna pay later? Do first and pay later. It could be what you planned to experience, or it could be something else depending upon what you choose within our free will. However, if we come here, let's suppose an example, we come here to experience being sick, poor, lame, whatever. If we choose not to be like that and we try hard to change these circumstances, will we have to pay for it later on because we haven't fulfilled this configuration given to us before our birth, or it will be right over. I mean, it will be deleted from the agreement. So you need to know that, but for me, I go for what I want and not what configuration, what fate. I don't believe in fate. I believe in a change things. I believe in a ventures and go for it. I don't believe in fate. I don't believe that people has to suffer. I don't believe in that. Misery doesn't make part of my menu. Why would I choose something I don't wish to experience? Correct! Exactly! Why would I choose something I don't wish to experience? I don't know. Why would you? Yeah, why is given to us in our configuration, pre-birth configuration agreements? Why? Do you mean that sometimes the soul wishes one thing and the body of the mind wishes another? What do you think? But how can the body or the mind overrule the soul? Doesn't the soul always get what it wants? Not always. I don't agree. I think no. Sometimes the mind wins in the body, especially so in the case of teenagers, children, etc. The spirit of you seeks, in the largest sense, that grand moment when you have conscious awareness of its wishes, and a joyful oneness with them. But the spirit will never ever force its desire on the present conscious physical part of you. Means that the soul will never force its will upon the body. You understand? It keeps a boundary. The Father will not force his will upon the Son. The Father is the Spirit. The Mother, in this case, the Mother will not force her spirit, her will upon her son or her daughter. It's a violation of his or her will, very nature to do so, and thus quite literally impossible. The Son, which is the body, will not force his will upon the Holy Spirit. Oh my God, this thing always break out. So the spirit of you seeks in the largest sense that grand moment when you have conscious awareness of its wishes and join in joyful oneness with them. But the spirit, which the Father or Mother, will never ever force its desire on the present conscious physical part of you. The Father, the Mother, will not force his will, her or his will upon the Son, which is the body. Is a violation of his very nature to do so. And yet here on earth, the parents want to do this, religions and whatever society will want to impose their wish upon another. That's why some people are rebellious by nature, because they know deep inside that there's something that they shouldn't follow. These are the most clever people there are. So it's a violation of his very nature to do so, and thus quite literally impossible. The son will not force his will, the son or the daughter will not force his or her will upon the Holy Spirit, which the parents. It's against his or her very nature to do so, and thus quite literally impossible. The Holy Spirit will not force his or her will upon your soul. The Holy Spirit is who here? The oversoul? God Himself is outside of the nature of the Spirit to do so, and thus quite literally impossible. Here is where the impossibilities end. The mind very often does seek to exert its will on the body, and does so. Similarly, the body seeks often to control the mind. The body seeks to control the mind and frequently succeeds. Yet the body and the mind together do not have to do anything to control the soul, for the soul is completely without need, unlike the body and the mind, which are shackled with it. And the soul allows the body and the mind to have their way all the time. Indeed, the soul would have it no other way, for if the entity wishes you is to create and thus know who it really is, it must be through an act of conscious volition, not an act of unconscious obedience. The soul allows, the spirit is allowed because it is one in the first place, the people to experience whatever they want to experience. So they will never ever show their authority over the body, the mind. They let them get away with it, because their purpose here is to be, to do exactly what they come here to do in the body. Obedience is not creation. It thus can never produce salvation. Obedience is a response, while creation is pure choice. undictated, unrequired. Pure choice produces salvation through the pure creation of the highest idea in this moment now. The function of the soul is to indicate its desire, not impose it. The function of the mind is to choose from its alternatives. The function of the body is to act out that choice. When body, mind, and soul create together in harmony and unity, God is made flesh. Then does the soul know itself and its own experience. Then do the heavens rejoice. Right now, in this moment, your soul has again created the opportunity for you to be, do, and have what it takes to know who you really are. Your soul has brought you to the words you are reading right now, and it has brought you to words of wisdom and truth before. What will you do now? What will you choose to be? Your soul waits and watches with interest as it has many times before. Do I understand you to say that this hour is out of the state of obedience? I select that my worldly success. I may still try to talk about my career here. Will be determined. I'm not concerned about your worldly success, only you are. It's true that when you achieve certain state of being over a long period of time, success in what you are doing in the world is very difficult to avoid. Yet you are not too worried about making a living. True masters are those who have chosen to make a life rather than a living. From certain state of being will spring a life so rich, so full, so magnificent, and so rewarding that worldly goods and a worldly success will be of no concern for you, to you. Life's irony is that as soon as the worldly goods and worldly success are of no concern to you, the way is open for them to flow to you. Remember, you cannot have what you want, but you may experience whatever you have. I cannot have what I want? No. You said this before very early in our dialogue. Still, I don't understand. I thought you'd been telling me I could have whatever I want. As you think, as you believe, so shall it be done to you in all that. The two statements are not inconsistent with each other. They aren't. They sure feel inconsistent to me. That's because you lack understanding. It means you cannot have what you want because that is also a wanting. You need to go there and make it happen. Well, I admit that. That's why I'm talking with you. I will then explain. You cannot have anything you want. The very act of wanting something pushes it away from you, as I said earlier in chapter 1. Well, you may have said it early, but you are losing me fast. Try to keep it up. I'll go over it and again in a greater detail. Try to stay with it. Let's go back to a point you do understand. Thought is creative. Okay? Okay? Word is creative. Got it? Got it. Action is creative. Thought, word, and deed are the three levels of creation. Still with me? Right there. Good. Now let's take worldly success as our subject for the moment. Since that's what you've been talking about, asking about. Terrific. Now, do you have a thought? I want worldly success? Sometimes, yes. And do you sometimes have the thought, I want more money? Yes. You can therefore neither have worldly success nor more money. Why not? Because the universe has no choice but to bring you the direct manifestation of your thought about it. Your thought is, I want world to succeed. You understand the creative power is like a genie in a bottle. Your word are its command. You understand? Then why don't I have more success? Because you don't go for it. I said your words are its command. Now your words were, I want success. And the universe says, okay, you do. I'm still not sure follow. Think of it this way. The word I is the key that starts the engine of creation. The words I am are extremely powerful. They are statements to the universe, commands. Now, whatever follows the word I, which calls forth the great I am, tends to manifest in physical reality. Therefore, I plus want success produces you wanting success. I plus want money must produce you wanting money. It produces no other thing because thoughts, words are creative, actions are too. And if you act in a way which says that you want success and money, so you must produce your wanting money. It can produce no other thing because thoughts, words are creative, actions are too. And if you act in a way which says that you want success and money, then your thoughts, words, and actions are in accord, and you are sure to have the experience of this oneness. You see? Yes. My God, does it really work that way? Of course, you are a very powerful creator. Now, granted, if you had a thought or made a statement just once, as in anger, for instance, or frustration, it's not very likely that you will convert those thoughts or words into reality. So you don't have to worry about drop dead or go to hell or all the other less than nice things you sometimes think or say. So you see, don't have to worry about curses and hexes because these things take long to materialize. It doesn't materialize easily because it's negative. The universe is only accepting positive thoughts, positive words. Thank God, you are welcome. But if you repeat a thought or say a word over and over again, not once, not twice, but dozens, hundreds, thousands of times, do you have an idea of the creative power of that? A thought or a word expressed and expressed and expressed, it becomes just that, expressed. There is, push it out, it becomes outwardly realized, it becomes your physical reality. Good grief. That's exactly what produces very often. Good grief. You love the grief. You love the drama. That is until you don't anymore. There comes a certain point in your evolution when you cease to love the drama. Cease to love the story as you've been living it. That's when you decide, actively choose to change it. Only most you don't know how. You now do to change your reality. Simply stop thinking like that. In this case, instead of thinking I want success, think I have success. I have money. I hope this don't make a fool of myself. That feels like a lie to me. I'd be kidding myself if I said that. My mind would shout, the hell you say? Exactly how many some people think. That feels like a lie to me. I'd be kidding myself if I say that. My mind would shout, the hell you say? Then think I thought you can accept my success come to me now. Or all things lead to my success. So this is the trick behind the New Age practice of affirmations. Affirmations do not work if they are merely statements of what you want to be true. Affirmations work only when they are statements of something you already know to be true. The best so-called affirmation is a statement of gratitude and appreciation. Thank you, God, for bringing me success in my life. Now that their thought spoken and acted upon produces wonderful results when it comes from true knowing, not from an attempt to produce results, but from an awareness that the results have already been produced. Jesus had such clarity before every miracle. He thanked me in advice for its deliverance. Because he was your kid, it never occurred to him not to be grateful, because it never occurred to him that what he declared would not happen. The thought never entered his mind because he knew who he was. It's different. So sure was he of who he was and of his relationship to me, that his every thought, word, and deed reflected his awareness. Just as your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect yours. If now there is something you choose to experience in your life, do not want it, choose it. Do you choose success in worldly terms? Do you choose more money? Good. Then choose it, really, fully, not half-heartedly. Heartedly. Yet, at your stage of development, do not be surprised if worldly success no longer concerns you. What's that supposed to mean? Of course, because of your age. What for you want success? Just make money now. What for want recognition? You want to show off for people. There comes a time in the evolution of every soul when the chief concern is no longer the survival of the physical body, but the growth of the spirit. No longer the attainment of worldly success, but the realization of self. Exactly. Unless you are a youth, young people, or a teenager. In a sense, this is very dangerous time, particularly at the outset, because the entity housed in the body now knows it is just that, a being in a body, not a body being. Yeah, but you say that in the 90s, huh? Now we are in 2023, and still there's people who think this way, that they are a body having experience, not a spirit having a bad experience. Fortunately, there are still some people there. At this stage, before the growing entity mates in this point of view, there is often a sense of no longer caring about affairs of the body in any way. The soul is so excited about being discovered at last. The mind abandons the body and all matters of the body. Everything is ignored. Relationships are set aside. Correct. Relationships are set aside. Families are disappeared. Jobs are made secondary. Bills go unpaid or underspent. The body itself is not even fed for long periods. That's true. The body is not fed. The entire focus and attention of the entity are now on the soul and matters of the soul. This can lead to a major personal crisis in the day-to-day life of the being. Although the mind perceives no trauma, it's hanging out in bliss. Other people say you have lost your mind. In a sense, you may have. That's why they say this people is going through traumatic phase in his life or her life, or they are having depression. They are very depressed and they need this psychological help, psychiatric help, blah blah blah. But people don't understand that where these people come from. That's why teenagers, they kind of um, behave in a way which is not acceptable for adults. Why? Because uh, they 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 are not thinking as a body or a mind alone. They are thinking also as a being now, a soul that want to realize themselves. Not long ago, they have been what a kid obeying parents, do everything parents do. Parents say, put on these clothes, boy and girl will put on that clothes. You have a timetable, you go to school at 7 o'clock, you should be back by 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, exactly when you finish school, finish class, or else you're gonna be in trouble. You must be home at this time, you must do your homework at this time, you must sleep at this time, you must go for tuition at this time. You see, so as this being grow up, he will rebel because he's fed up. He wants something different. He sees that he's changed hormonally, biologically wise, and mentally wise. They are changing. So they say, hey, I'm now in a crossy road. I'm neither in doubt, neither am I like that little child to be at the parents' beck and call all the time. That's why I give my kids freedom. You see, and today they penalize me for it. They want to crucify me for it instead of thanks me for it. You see, they penalize. Why? Because they follow religion, and a religion always tries to condemn what they don't want to understand. Religions always condemns what they don't want to understand. So the best thing that a parent can do for their children is freedom. My mother had given this to me, and I pass it to my children, and I don't regret. I would have done it again, again, and again. I don't regret, because freedom is unconditional love, and without it we don't grow as a person. For what? You be that obedient person and do thing by the book, and then tomorrow you reach your 30s, you reach your 40s, 50s. What you have learned in life? Nothing. You are not wise. You don't know how matters of the life in the fourth dimension, fifth dimensions works, because you are only centered into the third dimension. You are all about the third dimension. This is a matrix. You cannot function outside of it. You become an idiot at the age of 50 plus, 40 plus. For what? And what's life wasted when you have done the wrong things in the past? Okay, you have smoked, you have taken drugs, you have drink alcohol, but hey, you have learned something. You have learned something in adulthood, and that thing it served me at that stage to teach me that it didn't serve me at all to continue doing this kind of thing, doing drugs, alcohol, smoke, or play through auntie in school, etc. You're gonna learn someday. I hope you do not be late, and it's never late, because life throw you every time opportunities. And what you have gathered with, you have got wisdom and experiences, so that you are equipped enough with experiences and wisdom. You can pass it to somebody else, to your children, to your grandchildren, if they so require. If you cannot impose it upon them, you can just be ready when they are ready for it, because they often are not ready. They are not ready. Some people never ready. So go for those who are ready. The soul is so excited about being discovered at last. The mind abandons the body and all matters of the body. Everything is ignored. Relationships are set aside. Families are disappeared. Yeah, we kind of become like aloof, we become a bit far away from our family. Reserved. Jobs are made secondary. Bills go unpaid. The body itself is not even fed for long periods. The entire focus and attention of the entity are now on the soul and matters of the soul. This can lead to a major personal crisis in the day-to-day life of the being. Although the mind perceives no trauma, is hanging out in bliss. Other people say you have lost your mind or you're going through depression. And in a sense, you may have discovery of the truth that life has nothing to do with the body, can create an imbalance the other way. Whereas at first the entity acted as if the body were all there is, now it acts as if the body matters not at all. This of course is not true, as the entity soon and sometimes painfully remembers. You are a three-party being, made of a body, mind, and spirit. You will always be a three-party being, even in the fourth dimension. That is just why you are living on the earth. Exactly. You see, even though the fourth dimension, fifth dimension, you still have three-party being, mind, body, and spirit. So there are those who you are three-part being made of the body, mind, and spirit. You always be a three-part being, not just while you are living on the earth. Even when you die, also you will be three-part being, albeit made up of different atoms. There are those who penalize that upon death, the body and the mind are dropped. The body and the mind are not dropped. The body changes form, leaving its almost dense part behind the carcass, but retain always its outer shell. The mind, not to be confused with the brain, goes with you because of photonic light, okay, made of photonic light. Join with the spirit and the body as the one energy mass of the three dimensions of assets. Oh my gosh, that's true. But I don't know what's gonna be for a long time, forever. I don't know, because sometimes our loved one dies, connected ties, and after that, out of the blue, they disappear. Maybe they go for another planet's journey. I don't know, make part of their curriculum. But I have a encounter on 3 days. No, yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. I have this dream with this with my ex sister-in-law who died 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Going to be 2 years ago this year. At the age of 70, she died of lymphoma. And I saw her talking with her brother, who is still alive, the one, her brother, I got married with her brother, married 40 years ago, so, but they're separated. So, I saw them, they were talking, I eavesdropped them, the two of them talking. One is dead, which is the older sister, and the brother who's 69-year-old, and now she would be 72-year-old this year. So, I saw them have a conversation, and she would say to him, I'm gonna punish this person and that person. And that includes, she was talking about her stepdaughter, who is now 50 plus, and her biological daughter, who is about 50, I think 52-year-old. And the other is about 55, 56-year-old. So she says she will punish both of them, and she's dead, And then she went on to talk to him about how life in the other side is boring, and that not only boring, you lack respect there, nobody respects you, nobody's respecting me, she say, and nobody's loving us there, nobody loves us, nobody cares, she say like that. And she was very sad, very sad. But the funny thing is that only I can have this kind of communication with them, and their own relatives cannot have. I mean, I once eavesdropped them. I was from a far distance and watched them talking. One in the body here on earth, and another already gone, departed. Okay? So, that's terrible to think like this. You die, but she's recently dead because she died in 2021, the same year that I lost one brother and one sister. And in 2019 also I lost another older sister. So, and I have been contacting them, and this one I lost in 2019, almost 4 years ago. She's totally different. She's so arrogant now. She's so immersed in herself and have friends there, aliens. One of them may be my brother-in-law who died in the 90s. He turned himself into a hybrid, amphibian. And my sister was separated from him already. When she died, she was separated from him already. And this sister who died in 2019, she's so arrogant now. And she was there out to harm me when this alien who become my brother-in-law is amphibian. Now I know it's him, but because I remember I saw him recently last year. He passed me the Omicron. He and this sister who passed away in 2019. And what I would say, I saw him, and when my sister passed away in 2021, my sister was very angry at him. This another sister who was, she died at the age 70-year-old, 2091. It's just like my ex-sister-in-law, same age. Both died 70-year-old. And my sister died in October 2021 after she took the vaccine, and my sister-in-law died of lymphoma cancer in June 2021. So my sister, this blonde one, the older one, she was kind of okay. She just live her life and say, oh, what the heck, I don't care, but I don't like this man, blah 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 blah, I don't like him, I want him to get away from me because he was pestering her. And I said, what the heck this frog is doing here? And she like, it's him. I then he say he made his name, and his son was there also scolding him, and his son is alive yet on the earth. So you see, these two parallel worlds, they coexist, but you need to have some very profound intuition to get in tune with the other world. You need to be, first of all, you must not be too materialistic. You need to be very secluded like me. I'm aloof. I don't talk to nobody unless it's very important. If not, I always keep to myself. I don't like to mix up with people. So all this thing, you get more in tune with the other life, in other world. Reason you get more in tune with the other life. So the same man who I saw after my sister passed in 2021, I saw him. I didn't know when he came in March 2021, that I feel so angry to him. He was my brother-in-law, shameful bastard. And I don't know how old he died. I don't remember. I wasn't there at that country when he passed away. Last time I saw him was in 1983. It was a long time ago. He died in the 90s. So he came here with my sister. They were plotting inside my kitchen. Then after that, I say, hey, I'm get off of this house because I don't know what this entities come do here. And the other one who was still alive was plotting with the one who died against me, with this brother-in-law. And I didn't do anything wrong to that people. All I did was help them, my sister, not my brother-in-law, my sister. All I did was helping them out. Never did any evil thing to them. I don't know why they treat me this way. I might be envy and discrimination, because I'm the fairer and the family is discrimination. So they were there in the kitchen pour against me. First they come, she talked with a sister who is still alive. She was here. And then after that, this hybrid amphibious come and then push his butt against the door. push his way in. I tried to lock the door. I don't want him to come in. He pushed his way. He's stronger than I. And then I was carrying my black cat, and he kind of vaporized the cat. Even laser. Then after he could make his way in, and he didn't like the cat, So he put his way in. I'm against the wardrobe, and he kind of looking for some implant, or he was implanting something into me. And then later that bloody idiot went away, and then 5 days later I contracted Omicron. It was almost the end of my life. Really. I think it was this sister plotting for him to kill me, but they didn't succeed. Yeah, it was terrible. Omicron was really terrible. Terrible. But I survived it somehow. I survived it. Because when you become stronger, the thing is, if you want to succeed in life, you don't have to pity yourself and cry, and feel pity about yourself. You need to stand up and do something about it and be strong. Even if possible, curse, but don't allow things to get over you and to overburden you, overcome you. Either because if you do, else you will succumb and you will die. So discover the tools of life has something to do with the body can create imbalance that you are three-party being. There are those who hypothesize that upon death the body and the mind are dropped. The body and the mind are not dropped. The body changes form, leaving its most dense part behind, but retaining always its outer shell. The mind, not to be confused with the brain, goes with you too, joined with the spirit and the body as the one energy mass of 3 dimensions of assets. So be careful with the dead. They do cause harm. Now I find out the hard way. Should you choose to return to this experience and opportunity that you call life on earth, your divine self will once again separate its 2 dimensions into what you call body, mind, and spirit. Should you choose to return to this experiencing opportunity that you call life on earth, your divine self, which is the oversoul, will once again separate its 2 dimensions into what you call body, mind, and spirit. And truth, you are all one energy, yet with the 3 distinct characteristics. As you undertake to inhabit a new physical body here on earth, your ethereal body, as some of you have termed it, lowers its vibrations. It lowers itself from a vibration so rapid that it cannot even be seen, to a spirit that produces mass and matter. Oh my God. This is actual matter, is the creation of pure thought, the work of your mind, the higher mind aspect of your 3-party being. And that we are stronger than the body. I find out this. On the 4th dimension, we are more susceptible to bullies, abuse, and to be weak. I find it out finally. We are stronger than the physical. And the 4th dimension is this spiritual body. You are more propense to be bullied and abused over there. This matter is a coagulation of 1,000,000, billion, trillion different energy units into one enormous mass, controlled, labeled by the mind. You really are a mastermind. As these tiny energy units have expanded their energy, they are discarded by the body, while the mind creates new ones. This, the mind creates out of its continuing thought about who you are. The ethereal body catches the thought, so to speak, and lowers the vibration of more energy units, in a sense of crystallizes them, and they become matter, the new matter of you. And this way every cell of your body changes every several years, 7 years to be precise. You are quite literally not the same person you were a few years ago. Your body changes cells every 7 years, which now many people entered the 7 years now. This year, if you think thoughts of illness, still disease, or continuing anger, hatred, and negativity, your body will translate these thoughts into physical form. People will see this negative, sick form and they will say, "What's the matter?" They will not know how accurate the question is. The soul watches this whole drama play out year after year, month after month, day after day, moment after moment, and always holds the truth about you. It never forgets the blueprint, the original plan, the first idea, the creative thought. Its job is to remind you, that is to literally remind you, so that you may remember once again who you are and then choose who you now wish to be. In this way, the cycle of creation experience, imagining, fulfilling, knowing, and growing into the unknown continues, both now and even forevermore. Wow! Woo. Yes, exactly. Oh, and there's much more to explain. So much more, but never ever in one book, nor probably even in one lifetime. That's true. Yet you have begun, and that's good. Just remember this. It is as your grand teacher William Shakespeare said, "There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of," in your philosophy. May I ask you some questions about this? Like, when you say the mighty goes with me after death, does that mean my personality goes with me? Will I know in the afterlife who I was? It will for a while, not forever, not for a long time. It will, but it will kind of dissipate along the time. Yes, and who you have ever been, it will all be open to you. All will come together, but momentarily, because then it will profit you to know. Now in this moment it will not. And with regard to this life, will there be an accounting, a review, a tally taking? There is no judgment in what you call the afterlife. You will not even be There is no judgment in what you call the afterlife. You will not even be allowed to judge yourself, for you would surely give yourself a low score, given how judgmental and unforgiving you are with yourself in this life. No, there is no accounting, no one giving thumbs up or thumbs down. Only humans are judgmental. I'm sorry. I don't believe this, because we deal with spirits, they are very judgmental. Only humans are judgmental, and because you assume that I must be. Yet I'm not, and that's a great truth you cannot accept. Nonetheless, while there will be no judgment in the afterlife, there will be opportunity to look again at all you have thought, said, and done here, and to decide if that's what you would choose again, based on who you say you are and who you want to be. So there will be a judgment to some critics of sorries. Nevertheless, there is an Eastern mystical teaching surrounding a doctrine called Kamaloka. According to this teaching, at this time of our death, each person is given the opportunity to relive every thought ever entertained, every word ever spoken, every action ever taken, not from our standpoint, but from the standpoint of every other person affected. In other words, we already experienced what we felt, thinking, saying, and doing what we did. Now we are given the experience of feeling what the other person felt in each of these moments. And it is by this measure that we'll decide whether we'll think, say, or do those things again. Any comment? Well, I believe in the dead. The dead come to the tribe has spoken and they have told me differently. Now I don't know, it's based on their personality or the one of the several personality that they has chosen to maintain, to accept, and to have at that moment. I don't know, maybe, but it was not positive um, feedback that they have given me about their other life. What occurs in your life after this is far too extraordinary to describe here in terms you could comprehend, because the experiences are dimensional and literally defies description using tools as severely limited as words. It's enough to say that you will have the opportunity to review again this, your present life without pain or fear or judgment, for the purpose of deciding how you feel about your experience here and where you want to go from there. Many of you will decide to come back here to return to this world of density and relativity for another chance to experience out the decisions and choices you make about yourself at this level. And there comes the reincarnation process and the alien brainwashing concept that they have that are decided to persuade people to return again because you did not well enough, you need to come back, blah blah blah, because you have not done what you were for you to do and you have screwed up, all this kind of nonsense, so that you return. If you return, okay, but if you stay there in the bad place, then well, it's bad luck for us. So many of you will decide to come back here to return to this world of density and relativity for another chance to experience out the decisions and choices you make about yourself at this level. Others of you, a selective few, will return with a different mission. You will return to the city and matter for the sole purpose of bringing others out of density and matter to teach. Always there are on the earth those among you who have made such a choice of coming, so to choose this path to waking people up. You can tell them apart at once. Their work is finished. They have returned to earth simply and merely to help others. This is their joy, this is their exaltation, exactly. They seek not but to be of service. You cannot miss these people. They are everywhere. There are more of them than you think. Chances are you know one, or know of one, or he is the one, or he is the one. He is one of them. Am I one? No. If you have to ask, you know you are not one. Once answers this, asks questions of no one, there is nothing to ask. I don't think so. I think that he is also a messenger. All of us can be a messenger. So I don't agree. So who is that you are talking about? The chosen one that registered the prophet, scribe. There's nonsense. That one bring religions on. You, my son, in this lifetime are a messenger. Yeah, exactly. A harbinger, a bringer of news, a seeker, and frequently a speaker of truth. That's enough for one lifetime. Be happy. Oh, I am, but I can always hope for more. Yes, and you will. Always you will hope for more. It is in your nature. It is divine in nature to seek always to be more. So seek, yes, by all means seek. Now I want to answer definitely the question with which you started this segment of our ongoing conversation. Go ahead and do what you really love to do. Do nothing else. You have so little time. How can you think of wasting a moment doing something for a living you don't like to do? What kind of a living is that? That's not a living. That is a dying. If you say, but I have others who depend on me, little mouths to feed, a spouse who is looking to me, I will answer. If you insist that your life is about what your body is doing, you do not understand what you came here. At least do something that pleases you, that speaks of who you are. Then at least you can stay out of resentment and anger toward those you imagine are keeping you from your joy. Oh, how come it's keeping him from his joy when he made his bed and had to lay on it? When he baked his cake and had to eat it? How come I see it as a resentment to take care of my children, my elderly, when I felt that I had a responsibility, a part to play on it, and I did it with joy, with love, and a sense of responsibility, and I felt fulfilled in doing that. Because it's better to be criticized for doing something, for doing your responsibility, then carry on with guilt, consciousness forevermore. Be hated for a wrong reason, or for the right reason. It's better to be hated for a wrong reason than be hated for a right reason, because you deserve, isn't? So, well, he is his job to do it. Was his responsibility, because he created the children. He had to help them to be clothed and fed, because it takes two to tango. And also because if he wouldn't do that, his part as a daddy, the mother had to do all that. Why would she do and he be free not to do it, not to dish out and make play a part in his responsibility? That's not good. No, something wrong here. Then at least you can stay out of resentment and anger toward to see imagine keeping you from your joy. He cannot do this because his responsibility, he's not taking care of stepchildren. What your body is doing is not to be discounted. It is important, but not in the way that you think. The actions of the body were meant to be reflections of a state of being, not what your body is doing is not to be discounted. It is important, but not in the way that you think. The actions of the body were meant to be reflections of a state of being, not attempts to attain a state of being. In the true order of things, one does not do something in order to be happy. One is happy and hence he does something. One does not do something in order to be compassionate. One is compassionate and hence he acts in a certain way. Correct? The soul's decision precedes the body's action in a highly conscious person. Only an unconscious person attempts to produce a state of the soul through something the body is doing. So this means that when you have to do your duty towards your family, be it your children, your spouses, or your mother, your father, whoever is under tutelage or guardianship, first you need to be, not do. You need to be. Why you are doing that? Because you are being what? Compassionate, lovely, caring, kind, etc. You are not doing it because someone is forcing you. You are doing it because you are being all this. You are not doing. You are being in the first place. Like I had been, caring, loving, responsible, compassionate. I have pity. Because if I didn't do it, who would do? Who wouldn't do the best that I could do? and nobody would do best than I thought I could do. So I did, because I did for compassion and care and love. So it's another divine dichotomy. This is what is so through something the body is doing. This is what is meant by this statement. Your life is not about what your body is doing. Yet it is true that what your body is doing is a reflection of what your life is about. It's another divine dichotomy. Yet I know this: if you understand nothing else, you have a right to your joy. He have a duty to his children joy. Not a right to his joy, but a duty to his children joy. Children or no children, spouse or no spouse, seek it, find it, and you will have a joyful family. No matter how much money you make or don't make. And if they aren't joyful and they get up and leave you, then release them with love to seek their joy. Oh, so used to find, so used to talk like this. So the mother go, and then the mother who have to work her bums out to feed the children that this man have make. All that under the man's law, things does not work this way. It would be for this man if things work this way, but thanks the very woman's and men law, the laws that the women have so much fought for it that they cannot get away with it. At least in certain civilized and conscious countries. Of course, the men have to establish whether the children is his or not. In the first place, must go for paternity DNA test, and they get up and leave you. If, on the other hand, you had evolved to the point where things of the body are not of concern to you, then you are even more free to seek your joy on earth as it is in heaven. God says it's okay to be happy. Yes, even happy in your work. Your life work is a statement of who you are. Yeah, not when you have poison people, toxic people abusing you, looking for problems with you over there, humiliating you in front of everybody. Then this is not joy. This is not a joy. It's not who I am, what they are being. Then I will be also a devil, because they will bring out the devil in me. And tomorrow I don't come anymore to work. If it is not, then why are you doing it? Yeah, why you are doing so? Don't do it at all. So that's what I do. I don't do because I don't want have this problem. I don't want toxic people around me. Just for amigo sum, not that as if I'm earning thousands of dollars. No. So for what? I'm going to poison my mind and my body with toxic people around me for penalties. Doesn't make no sense. So I leave. Do you imagine that you have to? You don't have to do anything. Yeah, but you're gonna feed us, gonna pay our bills and that of our pets or children, whatever. If a man who supports his family at all costs, even his own happiness is who you are, then you love your work because it's facilitating your creation of a living statement of self. Whether he has a family or not, nevertheless he has to work. He or she has to work. So what's the big deal? You are working, you are helping to pay for your children, is your duty. Whether you have children or not, you still have to pay to maintain yourself. You have to work, get money to maintain yourself. So what changes? If a woman who works at a job she hates in order to meet the responsibilities and she sees them is who you are, then love your job, for it totally supports your self-image, your self-concept. Everyone can love everything the moment they understand what they are doing and why. No one does anything he doesn't want to do. Or maybe no one does anything unless he is forced to, because else he will not have what he needs. I want not say what he wants, but what he needs. He needs to pay the bill. She needs to feed her children, so they have to go work. Simple as that. Well, so you think everybody people would like to go? Certainly not. Nobody would like to slouch there and in the meantime get abused and humiliated. So that's all for now.